Hello everyone, my name is Abby Bliss White and welcome to my channel. Today I am so excited because I am collaborating with Grace from Everyday Edit, and we tagged each other with the luxury makeup starter kit questions that have been going around those videos, and we both love luxury makeup, so I am so excited to be collaborating with Grace again. So if you are not familiar with Grace from Everyday Edit, I believe you are. We tend to like a lot of the same things, but she is a beautiful person inside and out. She loves luxury beauty makeup just like myself. She does amazing tutorials and in-depth reviews, and honestly she's just a really nice person, and I haven't caught up with her in a while, so this will be a fun collaboration. So as usual, hop on over to Grace's channel and watch her luxury makeup starter kit tag video. Give her a little love from me, and without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Okay guys, I'm gonna be honest, I haven't watched a lot of these videos, so I'm hoping that I'm doing this right, but I have a series of tag questions. There is 15 of them, and I am going to kind of walk you through my answers. So the first one is, where should someone start when it comes to luxury makeup? And I should preface this by letting you know I am a complete beauty junkie. I have been ever since my teen years, and so I love it all, you guys. So if you are new to my channel, I thought I better give you a heads up that you're dealing with a complete beauty junkie. I love it all. I love skincare, makeup, perfume. I love the works. That's the reason I have a YouTube channel. I've been trying to channel that passion to meet up with fellow junkies like myself. So the first question is, where should someone start when it comes to luxury makeup? And I would say for myself, I love foundation. Like, my favorite thing to buy and review is foundation. I'm always on the hunt for the perfect one. So that is one thing I would say. I have found that my luxury beauty foundations are worth the investment. Generally, they're going to have more skincare ingredients and such in them, or they may perform a little bit better. So I would recommend going to a brand that you trust or love or are intrigued in, and then getting yourself color matched. I think that makes a huge difference whether you're going to like a product or not. And I personally think that the complexion is one of the most important parts of the overall makeup. It's the biggest surface on your face, and I do feel like if you have that healthy, glowing complexion, the rest is just all icing on the cake. And I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be talking about specific products, but I will share that, like, my current favorite foundation that has recently launched, and again, you guys, I love foundation. I have a ton of them, and the one that I love and recommend would be this #1 de Chanel. This is their Revitalizing tint, and this is going on about 2.5 months of pure love for this foundation, and they have a wider color range as well. So again, coming back to getting color matched makes a huge difference in foundations, and again, this one does have some skincare benefits in it. It doesn't have to be this particular foundation. There are so many good ones, but I do find that investing in a good foundation that matches your skin tone and your skin type can give you a really beautiful canvas upon which to work with as far as makeup. Okay, question number 2, is there anything they should stay away from? And this one makes me laugh because being a junkie, I sometimes will dive into a brand fall in love, and then I want to get all the matching components from that particular brand. But one thing that comes to mind is things like eyebrow pencils. Drugstore mascara is always a good bet. I personally, my favorite mascara is an expensive mascara. It's Chantecaille Faux Cils Longest Lash Mascara, but I do have a story behind it as to why I love it so much. But I have been a long-time fan of the L'Oreal Voluminous Mascara. I don't know how many tubes I have gone through throughout my life, but drugstore mascara is definitely a good pick. I would say eyebrow pencils, things like that that you don't need to spend a lot of money on. Now, just real quickly, back to my Chantecaille Faux Cils Longest Lash Mascara. I am somebody who tried the lash extensions and I really kind of ruined my lashes, and I ended up going and buying that mascara because it has a growth peptide in it, and I literally saw the improvement in my lashes and their growth, so I was totally sold on that, and it has just now become my holy grail mascara that I can't live without. So yes, that is an expensive mascara, but I still always will have a tube of my L'Oreal Voluminous Mascara. Okay, next question. If you could only purchase one category of luxury makeup for the rest of your life, what would it be? For me, you guys, no brainer. I love foundation. I'm always on the hunt. I get super excited about new foundation launches. So for myself, it would be foundation. And again, going back to what I just previously said, it creates the canvas on the face, so I feel like there is nothing better than healthy, glowy skin. All the other categories are just more fun, like the color aspects of them are super fun. I love eyeshadows and blush and lipstick and all that stuff. But if my skin does not look great, then I personally just don't feel like any of the other components matter that much, if that makes sense. So going back to the canvas, so foundation is always going to be my favorite category ever. Okay, next question. What is the one luxury makeup brand you would recommend for someone starting out? Oof, this is hard. I have a few that are coming to my brain right away. But I do want to say I've got a little bit of background. So when I was 16, my mom took me for my 16th birthday to the Chanel counter. I got a full makeover and I was just completely hooked on Chanel. My mom was so sweet and she like purchased some of the skincare and makeup items for me, so it was sort of this fun experience. So I will always have a sweet spot for Chanel because of that experience, and I still love it to this day. The other brand that is coming to mind would be Chantecaille, and the reason I'm bringing that one up is, again, I've got a little history behind it, but when I was younger, my mom loved Prescriptives, and Prescriptives was actually owned by Sylvie Chantecaille. So it's funny because I go way back in the day to Prescriptives, and I know I'm aging myself here, but I don't know if any of you guys remember how it was really cutting edge because Prescriptives would go ahead and mix up the perfect foundation for you with all the different undertones and stuff. And so my mom took me and my sisters to the counter and we all got our own custom foundation made for us. I also loved Calyx perfume. You guys let me know if I'm jogging any of your memories. That was a huge obsession for me. So I still remember going and buying my first bottle of Calyx perfume. And again, that was created by Sylvie Chantecaille. So once Prescriptives went bye-bye, Chantecaille launched, and again, that was a brand that my mom loved. and I was always attracted to it and used products from. So Chantecaille has been a long time love, and they also focus on more sensitive skin, so a lot of their products are not going to include fragrance and such as the Chanel. So Chanel originally was a perfume house, expanded into makeup, so of course they have the French tradition of including fragrance in their makeup and such, so that cannot work for everyone. So Chantecaille would be the brand I would recommend for my sensitive skin friends. And then of course I love Tom Ford. So those are like the three brands that I'm thinking if I was diving into luxury that I do not think you would be disappointed in. And I've always been such a huge fan of Tom Ford eye quads, so that would be one area. Like if you are going to start out with an eye quad, I would definitely recommend Tom Ford. So I have been a huge fan of the Tom Ford eye quads from way back when. I think Coco Mirage was my very first eye quad that I purchased from them. Maybe it was the peach cream shadow. Anyways, I'm just saying I love their eye products, and he recently launched a new formula of eyeshadow that I'm just obsessed with. It is this new cream to powder formula. They are so gorgeous, and I ended up starting out with one eye quad, falling in love with the formula, and now I own all three of the eye quads. Love, love, love. So that would be one area. If you are wanting to start in the eyeshadow realm, I would definitely say go Tom Ford, and specifically go check out those cream eyeshadows. This is what I'm wearing today. This is the Smoky Quartz, and I'm just obsessed. Okay, next question. What is the one luxury makeup brand you would tell someone to stay away from? And I'm trying to think about this. And I think when I go back to like color matching, talking about trying to get foundation that matches my skin type, one brand that is coming to mind because I've recently been asked about it is the La Prairie. It is that caviar foundation, and that is a super expensive foundation. And yes, I did have to buy it. This was a few years back, but I did have a lot of trouble getting color matched. And that is the one thing I would say is that if there are certain brands that are a struggle to get color matched in, or if you're finding that you are trying too hard to make something work, that would be one that comes to my mind, because I think I got matched in like 3 different shades. None of them were quite right, but I had heard so many amazing things about that foundation. It really does look amazing on your skin, but I do not think that it is really worth $200. I think it's like $250 now. So what I would say is that that is one where I really wanted it to work because I had invested so much money in this one product. And La Prairie is very expensive. It is a Switzerland brand. I am not saying that it's bad. There are certain products that I love from them. But again, for someone just starting out in the luxury makeup realm, there is so many other foundations that are going to run in the $60 to $100 range that are going to be amazing and have a wider skincare range. So that's a brand that is coming to mind for me. I'm trying to think of any other ones. There's certain brands I'm just not really attracted to, or I was attracted to them when I was younger. So now I'm more attracted to brands that may include more anti-aging and skincare benefits in their makeup lines, if that makes sense. Okay, what is one makeup brand you wish you had tried sooner? Ooh, let me think about this for a minute. Okay, that is a tough one for me. I actually have 2 brands that are coming to mind, and one of them is sitting right in front of me, but that would be Sisley. So Sisley was always one of those brands that I knew I would love once I started using them, because again, they use botanicals, they had skincare ingredients behind it, but I just didn't want to go down that route because everything seemed so expensive. And especially in the makeup range. Like, I will spend money on skincare because I think it's important, but for some reason the prices of their color products just seem to kind of turn me off a bit. And now I own and use several makeup products. You guys know my little glow maker. This is the expensive bronzer, but I use it every single day. And this has lasted me forever. And now I literally have products that I use every single day from Sisley that I cannot live without. For some reason, the price point on the makeup always bothered me, and I don't know exactly why. You just get little things in your brain. But that is one brand that I wish that I had dived into a bit earlier as far as their color products. And one other brand for myself that I know is super popular, but for some reason I had not really dived into, was Dior. And I think I tried one of their eye quints way back in the day. I'm talking about probably like in college or something, and didn't think much of it. And then that just was not a brand I was really attracted to. And I have found that in the past year, I have gone a little bit gaga over those eye quints. They reformulated them, and I just was like, wow, I need to dive a bit more into that brand. But that was always a brand that I was kind of surprised that I didn't love as much. And I have been diving into Dior a bit more this past couple years. Okay, question number 7. Would you recommend spending money on makeup or skincare? Okay, this is a no-brainer, skincare. So I know I don't do as many skincare videos on my channel, but I'm a complete skincare junkie. I have always loved regimes. So the big joke in my household was that I loved anything new, improved, or imported. That's what my mom would tease me about. So she kind of created this monster, but I've always been about skincare regimes. So from a very young age, starting with the Noxzema and Sea Breeze and things like that, and then moving through all the different brands. Like, I used prescriptive skincare in college, I remember that, and then I switched over to Erno Laszlo for many years. I did the 50 splashes. So I love big complicated regimes. I just find that skincare is super important, and it's always been a thing that I have loved and invested in. So, and I'm one of those weirdos that doesn't like to mix brands. Like, I sort of have to get the entire regime. So when I dive into a brand, I go all in. And this was one of these things that was also ingrained in me at a younger age. And again, going back to when my mom took me to the Chanel counter for my sweet 16 birthday, they did the whole thing. They did all the skincare, the makeover, the works, and my mom was like, we need to buy you the skincare regime because this is the important part, is taking care of your skin, not all the makeup. So it was kind of a huge deal for me to get all this luxury skincare. And then I do remember she bought me the little lip gloss and lip liner that the woman had put on me, and the lip gloss at that time came in like a little eyeshadow kind of pot, and it was a clear lip gloss, and I had the lip liner that had the little brush on the end, and I just fell in love with that lip liner and that little kind of clear gloss that looked so pretty in its little packaging. And so I have literally gone through so many different regimes throughout the years. Erno Laszlo, Sisley, Chantecaille. I'm trying to think of other ones, but anyhow, skincare is where it is at. Invest in your largest organ and figure out what works for you and your skin type. So that's the one thing I always say. The reason I don't do a bunch of skincare videos is partly because it took me years to figure out what works for me, and your skin is always evolving, but it is definitely worth the investment. And yes, I am a huge fan of Biologique Recherche and have used it for the past 6+ years and been super happy with the results. Okay, next question. Why do you personally love luxury makeup? And I always tell people I'm a sucker for marketing, always have been. My mom introduced me to luxury makeup at a young age, created the monster that I am. And believe me, I love my mom, not blaming her at all. And if she was still alive, she would get a hoot at the fact that I am doing YouTube, because we always had so much fun makeup shopping and shopping in general together. But basically, I'm a beauty junkie. I love it all. But I think my love for luxury makeup probably started again when I was 16 and had my little Chanel experience, because I walked away just feeling like I'd had a very special experience. And I also think that luxury beauty is an entree into some of the fashion brands that, I may not be able to afford. So I think there is this accessibility that, I can own a little Tom Ford makeup, or, I may not have a Chanel bag, but I do have my classic Chanel lipstick. And there's just certain brands that have been ingrained in my mind from a younger age, that they represent quality, tradition, and the makeup and perfume genre will allow me to participate in certain brands that I may not be able to afford. They're like fashion lines and stuff. So yes, the joke is that I have so much luxury makeup that yes, if I didn't spend all my money on that, I could afford a really nice handbag or something like that. But this has just always been my thing. I've always loved luxury beauty. And yes, I know I'm totally paying for the marketing. I was a marketing major. I am the one that they are wanting to market to. I'm the sucker who says, yes, I'll pay $89 for the Tom Ford name. So yes, I fully am aware that there are cheaper quality products on the market, but I just love my luxury beauty, and I'm assuming that many people watching to here today totally get it. They're the same. We all have our things that we spend money on or that we are attracted to, and unfortunately, or fortunately for me, I just love it all. Okay, number 9. Should luxury makeup brushes be invested in? This is an absolute yes. And I was somebody who got into the brushes a bit later on, and when I did buy my first set of Wayne Goss brushes, pretty much my whole makeup changed. Like, I know that sounds like a bold statement, but having the right tools is hugely important. Kind of goes along with skincare and creating the canvas, but having the right tools upon which to put the makeup on makes a huge difference. So my first set was from Wayne Goss. He makes amazing brushes. I then got into the Pro Series of Sonia G brushes, and that was very transformative. I love Rephr. Rephr makes the best brushes ever, and they are a bit more affordable, but as amazing quality. So those have been complete game changers. Sonia G, Wayne Goss, Rephr. Love all of those brushes, and I find them to be a super smart investment. And yes, I would definitely invest in a whole brush kit, either Wayne Goss, Sonia G, or Rephr. I think that would be a very wise investment. Okay, the next question is, should luxury perfumes be invested in? And if you are new to my channel, you may not know, but I am a complete perfume nut. Always have been. This also goes back to my childhood, but I have a deep love and passion for fragrances. And so, yes, I am very much into fragrance. I literally have like a mini perfume store in my makeup room here. And I personally find that perfume is the finishing touch that I do every single day when I get ready, and it's an important part of my life. So it doesn't mean that you have to invest in a luxury fragrance. What I tell people is if there is a fragrance that just feels like you and resonates with you and your personality and makes you feel like $1,000,000, that's the fragrance for you. Whether it is a luxury fragrance or a niche fragrance or a designer fragrance, I just find it to be an important piece of my overall well-being. In general, luxury fragrances or more niche brands are going to provide you with a more maybe unique scent, and also the high price tags generally mean that they are using higher quality ingredients, so the longevity of the fragrance could be extended and such. Okay, the next question is designer or niche fragrances, and you guys, I love it all. So I am a bit older. I am 53 years old. I grew up with two sisters, my mom and of course my grandmothers. They all loved fragrance, and so my history of fragrance started again back in my teen years, and I went through a big phase of all the designer fragrances throughout my younger years, and now I have been focusing a bit more on niche fragrance brands, but I love it all, you guys. So I wouldn't say that there's one that's better than another. It's going to be about the fragrance that really speaks to you, that makes you feel amazing, that really resonates with your personality and becomes one with you. That is what I would say. So personally, now in the stage of life that I am, I have been seeking out more niche fragrance brands, and niche brands usually mean that they just focus on perfume, i.e. like Chanel was originally a perfume house, it's a fashion house, it's a makeup house, whereas niche brands generally just mean it's all about the perfume. That's all that they do. They're not necessarily focusing on a bunch of different avenues within their business. And I've been on this fragrance journey for so long that I have kind of moved into more niche brands. I find them to be a bit more unique. They may push the boundaries a bit more because their audience are going to be crazy people like myself that love fragrance and are not producing fragrance for like the general masses. But that being said, I love those fragrances just as much. So I definitely do think that investing in a signature scent, whether it be niche, designer, or luxury, is an important little finishing touch of your overall well-being. Where is the best place to shop when getting started? So what I would tell you, it's going to depend on where you live. Here, I live in Portland, Oregon, and I wouldn't say that we have the best shopping. I do have a Nordstrom, so I would probably tell you going to a place such as Nordstrom or Saks or Bloomingdale's, if you live in a market like that where they're going to have the luxury brands, that's probably the best place to shop. I do personally do a lot of online shopping because of YouTube, and that I don't have access to certain brands. I will order online, but I do think it's best to go to a place like Nordstrom or Saks or Bloomingdale's where they're going to have several different brands. It is so fun to actually go to the counters where there are experts that are trained in that particular brand, and they can really help guide you for what you are looking for. So I have all my little makeup friends down at Nordstrom. I laugh because they're probably like, ooh, Abby's coming in today. I'm always a good little buyer there. But when I travel to New York to see my son or Los Angeles to see my daughter, I always like to go to Saks, because Saks, especially in New York, has a fantastic second floor of like all the different luxury brands. And then they have this little niche perfume areas. So that is like a dream come true for me, is shopping at Saks in New York, one of my favorite little stops there. But in general, I would say going to a mall that's going to have a place like Nordstrom or Bloomingdale's or something like that that's going to have all the different luxury brands available. Okay, question 13. If you only have $200, what would you buy? This is hard. Okay, so I would say, of course, I would invest in a foundation, and I would say, I'm going to point out this one. This one's $70. So we've already used up a good amount of money, but I would say investing in a good foundation that just looks amazing on your skin. So foundation. Then I would say a basic everyday eye quad. I would probably mention Tom Ford. These new eye quads I just love, love, love. And this is $89. This is $70. I'm not good at math. Okay, so that's going to leave me with about $40 left between these two products. So I was going to say a bronzer because those last forever, but of course the bronzer that I love is $100-something. So skip that. Let's go for a signature lipstick. And I think what I would tell you is maybe getting a Tom Ford lipstick or a Chanel lipstick. The Chanel will fall right in that $200, but just picking up a little piece of luxury, something that you are going to wear day in and day out. So I would stick with the basics. An eye quad that isn't going to be trendy, something that's going to be an everyday eye quad, such as the SMOKEY QUARTZ, a good foundation, and then a lipstick from one of your favorite brands. And that could be Tom Ford, Chanel, Dior. My new favorite, Sicily. These are these Fito Rouge Shines. I love these, and these are a little bit pricey. So picking a few key items, but just making sure that they are going to be products that you're going to use day in and day out, so you do not have any regrets about your investments. Now, speaking of regrets, okay, what was your first luxury makeup purchase, and did you regret it? And I'm trying to think about that. The one that is coming to mind was going to get the LANCOME. This was the black lapis eyeliner, which was a gorgeous teal eyeliner. Remember, I kind of grew up in the 80s and 90s. Loved colored eyeliners and even got into the colored mascaras. But I do remember my good friend Sarah Middleton and I going to the Lancome counter when we were teenagers and picking out that eyeliner. And I specifically remember us getting our eyeliners and coming home and putting them on, and we just loved that Lancome Black Lapis Kohl eyeliner. So no regrets. I would still buy it today. I want to look it up and see if it was I want to look it up and see if it's available, because fantastic teal, fantastic dark teal color. And then last but not least, it said, what is your biggest luxury makeup regret? And to be honest with you, the regrets generally have to do with skincare. As I said, I'm skincare junkie, and I also like to go all in with regimes. And I did have a brand, I guess I will say what it is, but it's not a bad brand, but I went all in on Tata Harper skincare and loved everything about the marketing and the ethos and everything about it, but I knew ahead of time that my skin does not do well with products that have a lot of essential oils in it. And although this was an organic brand and I just loved everything about Tata Harper, I think she's beautiful and I love the Vermont farm and everything about it. So I basically went full in bought the whole regime, and let's just say my skin was not happy. This is not a bad brand. I think they have some beautiful products, but it did not work for me and my skin type. But it was one of those regrets where it's like I kind of knew going in, but I was just like, no, it's organic and it's good and I just love everything about it. And I basically created a little bit of a mess with my skin that took me a few months to kind of get it back on track. So in general, it's usually skincare where I will go down the rabbit hole, go deep in on a brand, and then be like, uh-oh, doesn't necessarily work for me, my skin type, and my fussy little skin that will wreak havoc every once in a while. So that was a big regret. Those are usually bigger investments when you're buying the whole regime, so just kind of a waste of money. I'm really good at sharing products with friends, so I will just move those along now. As far as makeup, you guys, I just find makeup and color to be fun and creative, and I don't really have regrets about it. Like, there's definitely trends that I was like, woof, what was I thinking? You're just kind of going along with what is in style and in vogue at the time, and to me, that's just a creative process. And actually, my big regret would be that I wish I was more confident in my younger years and actually had a bit more fun with makeup back in the day when my skin was younger and my eyes were not as wrinkly. I was always somebody who didn't want to look too made up. That's just who I am. But there are certain things that I wish I had kind of tried out when I was younger, because you know what? Life is short. It's just makeup. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be fun and transformative. And I find that I'm now having more fun at the age of 53 with makeup than I did back in the day, because I was worried about what people might think about me and such. So go ahead, step into being you and do what makes you happy, is what I would say. This was actually kind of fun to go down memory lane, but again, be sure to hop on over to Grace at Everyday Edit and check out her video. I am so excited to go watch it, and I'm going to be curious to see if we have overlap. So again, give her a little love from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I will be back with another video soon.